Yes.
Simon sagt wahrscheinlich die Leute in Steuer.
Gerne, ja.
Die werden echt rein.
Ja, sie noch.
Also ich kann das machen, was ich mir gerne finde.
Also Pfirsich ist für Chutney. Das heisst so
Schweigen.
Rama Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Rama Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Jayam Vishnu Pada Paramahansa Siddharthacharya Astutta Shanta Shri Sriman His Divine Grace Bhai Charanavina Bhaktivedanta Prabhupada Ki He is Community Founder Acharya Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada Ki Srila Prabhupada Ki Shri Radhastami Maha Mahotsava Ki Shri Radhastami Maha Mahotsava Ki Shri Shri Radha Gopinatha Ki Kunzurik Mandir Ki Go Premanande All glory to Assembly devotees. All glory to Assembly devotees. All glory to Assembly devotees. All glories to Shri Shri Guru and Gauranga. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. 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 Om Anjanati Randasya Jnanjana Shalakaya Chakshurumilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Jayapataka Swami Namane. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Namane. Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravan Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunavadi Pashtati Vishtadune Vancha Kalpatarvyasya Kripasi Hridaya Vacha Padinganam Pavanidyo Vaishnavyo Namo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Jai Gaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktavrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Om Dasa Bhakta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Suttadeve Pranamami Hari Priye. Jai Shri Radhika Ki Jai. Okay, today is Radhastami. Thank you very much for coming to Get Vegetables on the class. And hoje é um dia muito especial.
Today is a very special day.
É um dia muito especial para nós Gaudiya Vaishnavas.
It's a very special day for us Gaudiya Vaishnavas.
Nós Gaudiya Vaishnavas somos seguidores do Srimati Radharani.
Us Gaudiya Vaishnavas, we are the followers of Srimati Radharani.
Okay. Rukmini disse que Krishna não conseguia entender o sentimento, o apego, o amor dos seus devotos.
Rukmini said that Krishna could not understand the attachment, the feeling of his devotees.
Então Krishna resolve vir para poder experimentar, para poder saborear esse Radha Bhava, esse humor tão secreto, tão especial, que nem ele mesmo entendia.
So Krishna decides to come in order to understand this Radha Bhava, this very special feeling that not even him could understand.
Hoje também é aniversário de 52 anos de sannyasi de Srila Jayapataka Maharaj.
Today is also the anniversary of sannyas of Jayapataka Maharaj, 52 years of his sannyas.
Ele tomou sannyasi em Radhastami de 1970 em Calcata.
He took sannyas in 1970 in Calcutta during Radhastami festival.
Voto muito difícil.
A very difficult vow to take.
Ok. Prabhupada explica em uma aula que o que Deus faz quando Ele quer desfrutar.
Prabhupada explains in one of his classes, what does God do when He wants to enjoy?
Então, quando Deus quer desfrutar, a alma condicionada também segue o mesmo princípio.
When God wants to enjoy, the conditioned soul also follows the same principle.
Então, quando a alma condicionada, quando nós queremos desfrutar, o que nós fazemos? Nós fazemos uma viagem.
When we want to enjoy, what do? We go for a trip, for example.
Nós podemos ir para a Tailândia.
We can go to Thailand.
Podemos ir para as montanhas.
We can go to the mountains.
Podemos ir para o Rio de Janeiro.
We can go to Rio de Janeiro.
Nesses lugares, nós podemos ir a um restaurante.
We can go to a restaurant.
Podemos assistir uma peça de teatro.
We can watch a theater play.
Podemos ir ao cinema.
We can go to the movies.
Um café.
Or a coffee shop.
Então tudo isso tem um sabor, tem um prazer.
So all of these things, they have a certain taste, a pleasure in them.
Se você está sozinho.
If you're alone.
Mas se você arruma uma companhia,
but if you have a companion, a partner,
é muito mais prazeroso.
It's much more pleasurable.
Então se você arruma um namorado, uma namorada do sexo oposto, talvez esse exemplo não vá fazer muito sentido nas próximas gerações. Mas se um rapaz arruma uma menina para ir junto com ele nesses lugares, o prazer vai se intensificar muito mais.
And if you have a partner from the opposite sex, like a boyfriend or girlfriend, then the pleasure is even more.
Então, esse princípio existe em nós porque ele está originalmente em Deus, em Krishna.
That principle exists in us because originally it is in Krishna.
Então, quando Krishna quer desfrutar, o que ele faz?
So when Krishna wants to enjoy, what does he do?
Ele expande de dentro de si, do seu próprio corpo, Srimati Radharani.
He expands from within himself, from within his own body, Srimati Radharani.
Então ele não vai arrumar um princípio, uma garota material.
So he's not going to find a material woman.
E Srimati Radharani é totalmente espiritual.
Srimati Radharani is completely spiritual.
Ela é a potência de prazer, a Lili Shakti é a potência interna de prazer de Deus.
She is the pleasure potency, the internal potency of God.
Então Srimati Radharani é irrivalizável, é ela quem mais dá prazer para Krishna.
She is the one who gives the highest pleasure to Krishna.
Irrivalizável. Ok, esse é um tópico. Outro tópico, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati explica que no mundo material existe o princípio de Guru Tattva.
Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati explains that in the material world we have the principle of Guru Tattva.
Ok, quem é que representa o princípio de Guru Tattva?
Who presents the principle of Guru Tattva?
Quem é? Balaram, yes. Ou o Sr. Nityananda.
Balaram or Lord Nityananda,
Então,
who represents
o princípio de servir a Suprema Personalidade de Deus, isso vem do Sr. Balaram, do Sr. Nityananda.
This principle to serve the Supreme Personality of Godhead, that comes from Balaram, Nityananda.
Então, isso é representado por Balarama, por Nityananda nesse mundo material.
So that is represented by Balaram, Nityananda in this material world.
Esse princípio, mas no mundo espiritual esse princípio também continua.
But in the spiritual world, that principle is also there, it continues.
Então, quem é o Guru? Quem é o mestre espiritual no mundo espiritual em Goloka Vrindavan?
Who is the Guru? Who is the spiritual master in the spiritual world, Goloka Vrindavan?
Srimati Radharani. Ninguém consegue servir mais Krishna do que Srimati Radharani.
No one can serve Krishna more than Srimati Radharani.
Inclusive nós, Divatmas, podemos ascender à posição de Manjaris.
Even us, Jivatmas, we can ascend to the position of Manjaris.
Manjaris, no mundo espiritual. E nós nos ocupamos a serviço de quem?
And who do we engage? And we engage in the service of whom?
A serviço de Lalita ou de Vishaka.
Under the guidance of Lalita and Vishaka, we serve them.
Lalita e Vishaka vão nos ocupar em muitos serviços em Goloka Vrindavan.
Lalita and Vishaka, they will engage as in many services in Goloka Vrindavan.
E esse serviço é entregue a Srimati Radharani.
And that service is then offered to Srimati Radharani.
E é ela quem vai desfrutar com Krishna.
And she's the one who will enjoy with Krishna.
Então, todos estão servindo Srimati Radharani no mundo espiritual.
So everyone is serving Srimati Radharani in the spiritual world.
E Chaitanya Mahaprabhu é Srimati Radharani.
And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Srimati Radharani.
Gaura Hari.
Gaura Hari.
Gaura quer dizer dourado.
Gaura means golden.
Por causa da tez, por causa da colorificação corpórea de Srimati Radharani.
Because of Radharani's bodily complexion.
Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari. E Hari é Krishna.
And Hari is Krishna.
Então o Sr. Hari quis experimentar o humor de Srimati Radharani, Radha Bhava.
So Lord Hari wanted to experience Radha Bhava, the mood of Srimati Radharani.
Então ele abandonou a sua coloração escura, Krishna.
So he left his dark complexion, his dark body,
e aceitou a coloração do ouro derretido de Srimati Radharani e os sentimentos e o humor de Srimati Radharani.
And he accepted the golden complexion of Srimati Radharani and also her mood, her sentiment, her love.
Ok, existem muitas perspectivas, existem muitos tópicos pelos quais a gente pode falar de Srimati Radharani.
There are many perspectives, many topics that which we can speak about Srimati Radharani.
Mas eu vou falar sobre um tópico específico hoje.
But I will speak on a specific topic today.
Esse tópico ele foi tirado de um artigo da revista Back to Godhead de 2015.
This topic comes from a Back to Godhead from 2015.
Da Back to Godhead from Brazil. E eu escrevi esse artigo.
And I wrote this article.
Arriba.
Então essas são algumas fotos da aniversariante de hoje.
These are some pictures of today's birthday girl.
Yes. Ela é mais bonita que a abóbora.
Hã?
Ela é mais bonita que a abóbora. She's more beautiful than the pumpkin.
She's more beautiful than a pumpkin.
Yeah.
The pumpkin that you're cutting.
The pumpkin don't give bhakti.
I think he means look at Radharani, not at the pumpkin.
Ok, então todo artigo começa com uma questão que vai guiar o artigo. E a questão é: Will God be man or women? Male or female?
There is one question that guides the article, that is throughout the article, and it is: Will God be man or woman? Male or female?
What do you think about this?
Pumpkin.
Pumpkin absorption, yes, pumpkin baba. Both, good. Em Vrindavan Chandra, Deus é homem ou mulher?
God is a man or woman?
Yeah, the Swiss devotees are very intelligent.
Thank you.
Mas isso é um assunto teológico extremamente relevante para os dias de hoje.
But this is a theological topic that is very relevant for nowadays.
Porque para as principais religiões, as mais difundidas, né, as com mais seguidores, apesar disso não quiser dizer nada, para as religiões com mais seguidores no mundo, as religiões abraâmicas,
Because for the main religions of the world today, and those with the biggest amount of followers, even though that doesn't really mean anything, but those with the biggest amount of followers, the Abrahamic religions,
judaísmo, cristianismo e islamismo,
Judaism, Christianity and Islam,
eles apresentam a imagem de Deus como homem, como pai, uma imagem patriarcal.
they present God as a father, as a patriarchal image, as a man.
Apesar que o islamismo pende muito para o impersonalismo.
But Islam also tends a lot to impersonalism.
Eu lembro uma vez que eu fui numa palestra na Universidade Federal de Campina Grande.
I remember once I went to a speech in a university in Brazil.
E era um debate interreligioso desses que o Krishna Premarupa gosta muito.
And it was an interfaith debate, one of those that Krishna Premarupa likes a lot.
Então, uma das palestrantes era uma feminista, uma ateísta.
One of the persons speaking was one feminist, and she was also atheist.
E ela acusava, né, as outras religiões presentes, ela chamava as religiões de religiões falocêntricas.
And she was accusing the religions that were represented there of being, how to say that?
Falo.
Patriarch.
Falocêntrico.
I don't know how to say this word.
Falocêntricos.
Yeah, centered on a male principle, like. I don't know how to say in English, I'm sorry.
Patriarch.
Yeah, patriarchal, yeah.
Patriarcal. Mas entende que ele está suavizando bastante, né, a expressão.
It's something else he means.
Porém, nós temos as religiões mais europeias, as antigas, né, principalmente as religiões célticas.
We also have older religions from Europe, like the South Celtic religions.
As religiões pagãs.
Paganism.
Pagan religions. Que elas cultuam a natureza, a deusa mãe.
They worship nature. They worship the mother, the goddess mother.
Yes, the nature like a goddess mother. Yes. Então tem essa disputa, essa controvérsia nas religiões ocidentais.
So there is such a controversy in the Western religions.
Deus é homem ou mulher?
Is God a woman or a man?
Se Deus for homem, ela pende para o sexismo, né, para o machismo.
If God is man, then we tend to sexism or sexism.
Sexismo. E se for mulher, é uma religião então feminista. E aí?
And if God is a woman, then we go towards feminism. So what to do?
Mas o Vaishnavismo, ele é tão completo que ele apresenta Deus em uma forma feminina e masculina, os dois combinados e inseparáveis.
But Vaishnavism is so complete that it presents God as both, male and female, both
But together.
together.
Okay.
Maha Krishna thinking.
Okay. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's main thesis holds that God has many different energies. This is very important because the question of different kinds of energies, this defeats the Mayavada philosophy. Thus, the Shrutashtar Upanishad, chapter 6, verse 8, describes the absolute truth. Então, esse é um verso do Upanishad.
So this is a shloka from the Upanishads.
É um verso Shruti.
It's a Shruti.
Não é um verso Smriti,
It's not a Smriti shloka,
como dos Puranas.
such as in Puranas.
Então, nos próprios Shrutis, os Mayavadis, a filosofia Mayavada já é derrotada.
In the Shrutis themselves, the Mayavada philosophy is already defeated.
Natasya karyam karanam chavidate natasyamash chavyadikas chavishate parasya shakti vividhaiva shruyate swabhaviti jnana malakriyacha. The Supreme Lord has nothing to do. Eu desconfiava disso. The Supreme Lord has nothing to do. I think this. And no one is found to be equal to or greater than him. For everything is done naturally and systematically by his multifarious energies, providing him full knowledge, power, and pastimes. Krishna is the source of all incarnations, all energies, all incarnations. Because this he is now like Shakman Tattva, the original source of all. And Radha is the original source of all energies, Shakti. Krishna is Shaktiman, e Srimati Radharani is Shakti. This is inseparable. According to Bhaktivinoda Thakur in Jayavadharma, Vrajanata, to which category of Krishna's Shakti does Srimati Radharani belong? Raghunatha does Babaji. Sri Krishna is Purna Shaktiman, the completely Shaktiman, the supreme energetic in his highest original form. And Srimati Radhika is Purna Shakti, his supreme energy in her highest original form. Also, Srimati Radhika may be known as Purna Swarupa Shakti, the absolute embodiment of the original divine energy of the Lord and identical with him. This is very, very, very important to establishing the Vaishnava philosophy. Krishna means Krishna and his energies. And his energies means Srimati Radharani. For example, musk is recognizable by and inseparable from its inherent fragrance. Similarly, fire is known by and is inseparable from its heat. Similarly, Srimati Radhika and Sri Krishna, relishing the transcendental pastimes, are eternally distinct personalities, but simultaneously non-different and inseparable. Achinta Veda Veda Tattva. The three active potencies, Chit Shakti, Jiva Shakti, and Maya Shakti, emanate from the Swarupa Shakti. Bhaktivinoda Thakur from Jayavadharma, chapter 14. This is a version on Vedantism. This is very interesting. In terms of Tattva, philosophy, Krishna is superior. But in terms of Lila, Radha is superior because Radha, with her love, controls Krishna, that is the supreme controller. So Sri Radha Krishna energy and energy together personifying the supreme person of Godhead. Jai Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Maharani ki jai, Shri Gauritai ki jai, Shri Radha Gopinath ki jai. This is God. This is the perfect form of God according to Vaishnavism. Radha and Krishna together. Radha and Krishna is God. Sri Radha Swarupa Shakti and her main energies. Radha Shakti, that is the potence of Lord of Srimati Radharani. O amor, a atração que nós sentimos por Deus, isso personifica Srimati Radharani, Radha Shakti.
Radharani personifies this love, the attraction that we feel towards God.
Então, os devotos puros, esse amor, esse bhava, esse prema, isso vem de Srimati Radharani.
So, this bhava, this prema that the pure devotees feel, this comes from Radharani.
Então, Krishna é conhecido como todo atrativo.
Krishna is known as the all-attractive.
A raiz verbal Krish quer dizer isso.
The verbal root Krish means that.
Assim como o arado arrasta a terra,
just like
the instrument of
this instrument where you use to
Balarama
plow the field. It's not the plow, the other instrument that Balaram uses, in the field.
Haladar.
I forgot the name of the
Haladar.
Plow.
Então,
the other one. What's the name of the other one? It has a plow and a... Anyway.
pumpkin. Então, o ponto é que esse instrumento ele arrasta a terra.
This instrument that Balaram possesses, it brings the earth, right? He can bring the earth.
Então, isso que a raiz verbal Krishna indica.
That is what the verbal root Krish indicates.
Cupido atrai a todos.
Cupid attracts everyone
com sua beleza.
with his beauty.
Mas Krishna atrai Cupido.
But Krishna attracts Cupid himself.
Madana Mohana. Mas Srimati Radharani atrai aquele que atrai Cupido.
But Srimati Radharani attracts the one who attracts Cupid.
Madana Mohana Mohini. Então esse poder de atração, de atrair o coração das pessoas mais renunciadas, mais sábias, mais elevadas, isso vem de Srimati Radharani. Isso personifica Srimati Radharani.
So this power of attraction, this power to attract the heart of those persons who are most renounced and most wise, that comes from Srimati Radharani.
Yeah, the absolute inner pleasure potency, Ananda. Another potency is Samvit, manifests knowledge about the relationships in the spiritual world, Chit. And another is Sandhini, manifests the eternal elements that make up the spiritual world, Sat, Sati Ananda. Ok, and agora nós temos a versão de Krishnadas Kaviraj sobre Srimati Radharani.
Now we have a version of Krishnadas Kaviraj about Srimati Radharani.
Em dos maiores livros do mundo, que é o Chaitanya Charitamrita.
In one of the greatest books in the world, which is Chaitanya Charitamrita.
Yeah. There is a great increase of mellow in the unveiled conjugal mood. Such love is found nowhere but in Braja. The mood of Parakya Rasa, the mood of the gopis, not the mood of the Dwarka queens. That is the mood of Swakya Rasa. This mood is unbounded in the dancers of Braja. But among them it finds its perfection is Sri Radha. Her pure material love surpasses that all of others. Her love is the cause of Lord Krishna's destiny the sweetness of the conjugal relationship. Então, quando Krishna quer desfrutar, quem proporciona isso a Krishna melhor do que ninguém é a Srimati Radharani.
So when Krishna wants to enjoy, the one who gives that to Krishna better than anyone else is Radharani.
This is from Chaitanya Charitamrita also. Govinda Nandini, Radha, Govinda Mohini, Govinda Sarvasva Sarva Kanta Shiromani. Radha is the one who gives pleasure to Govinda, and she is also the enchantress of Govinda. Igual uma feiticeira, né? She is the be-all and end-all of Govinda, and the first jewel of all his consorts. Chaitanya Charitamrita Lila, chapter 4, verse 8 to 8. Radha Purna Shakti, Krishna Purna Shakti Man, Dui Fasto Bendanai, Shastra Paramana. Radha is the full power, and Lord Krishna is the possessor of full power. The two are not different, as evidenced by the revealed scriptures. They are indeed the same, just as musk and its scent are inseparable, or as fire and its heat are non-different. This verse from Puranas. A picture from Srimati Radharani. Beautiful, no?
Yes. This is
The eyes from her. Okay, this is very sweetness also. Prayers to Srimati Radharani from Bhajana Rahasya by Bhaktivinoda Thakur. This is very special. After give up the pride of falsity, they find the material body with the self by the mercy of Krishna. I reside in Braja as a gopi. As Radharani's main servant, I always take pleasure serving Radha and Krishna in the Parakya Rasa pastimes. Give up all other engagements for the service of the lotus feet of Srimati Radharani is described in the Radha Rasa Sudhanidhi, verse 32. Shiradika Charanarinum Aham Bhajami. Abandoning attachment for family and friends, material pleasures, wealth, and all other spiritual pets. Finding them distasteful, I take on my head and worship the dust of the lotus feet of Sri Radhika, which is the shower of wonderful transcendental bliss. A prayer to achieve the service of Radharani within the Kunja of Vrindavan is given the Radha Rasa Sudhanidhi. 100. O Radha, O Vrishabhanu Nandini, when, by your mercy, will I stay on the banks of the Yamuna and wander on the paths within the groves of Vrindavan as I engage in your service as a maid servant? In the in the Radha Rasa Sudhanidhi 2:59, there is the following prayers to be always engaged in seeking Krishna by the performance of Sankirtana in the mood of Radhasya as a maid servant. But always remember Krishna, who wears a peacock feather in his mukut, by performing Sankirtana and engaging in the service of his lotus feet. By chanting the best of mantras, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, and by remembering the most cherished service of the lotus feet of Radha with my heart, when will I relish the most amazing festival of attachment to Radha. Prayer to attain the service of Srimati Radharani, birth after birth, is given in the Radha Rasa Sudhanidhi 40. May I attend the service of Vrishabhanu Nandini, birth after birth. She is the personification of the essence of the transcendental mellows of divine sport. with a form in the most wonderful transcendental bliss. She is the supreme goddess of fortune. Todas as deusas da fortuna se expandem vêm de Srimati Radharani.
All the goddesses of fortune, they expand from Srimati Radharani.
Isso é confirmado no Brahma Samhita.
That is confirmed in Brahma Samhita.
Her lotus feet are difficult to attain even for the demigods headed by Lord Brahma. Searching Radhanatha Krishna while engaged in the service of Srimati Radharani is described in the Radharasa Sudhanidhi. May my tongue be overwhelmed by relation the nectar of Radha's name. May my feet be engaged in wandering the paths of Vrindavan which are marked by Radha's footprints. May my hands be engaged in the love and service of Radharani, and may my mind be engaged in meditation of the lotus feet of Radha. By attaining the festival of ecstatic love for Radha, may I attain firm attachment for the lotus feet of her beloved Sri Krishna. In Vilapa Kshumanjali, verse 8, the lotus feet of Sri Radha are described as the ultimate goal of life. Oh goddess, please rescue this unfortunate person drowning in the ocean of unhappiness. Place me in the strong boat of your mercy and carry me to the shore of your lotus feet. Exclusive affinity for achieving attachment for the service of Sri Radha is described in Vilapa Kshumanjali, verse 16. Oh most beautifully resplendent goddess, I shall never ask you for anything other than the service of your lotus feet as a main service. Again and again, I offer my obeisances from a distance to the desire of becoming your Sakhi, companion on an equal level. Again and again, I desire to relish the sweet nectar of your service as a maid servant. A sincere solicitation in Radha Dasya is given in the Gandharva Sampratana Shtakam of the Stava Mali. O Devi, in great distress, I fall to the ground offering you obeisances and prayers with a voice choked with emotions. O Gandharvike, please bestow your mercy on this pauper and count me amongst your own associates. A prayer to achieve attachment for the service of Srimati Radharani, who attracted the mind of Sri Krishna, is given the Radharasa Sudhanidhi. 29. When will I delight in the service of Srimati Radharani? Struck by the arrow of her sidelong glance, Krishna's fence, his flute falls from his hands, the peacock feathers on his head become illusion, and his yellow scarf slips from his neck. An introduction to the characteristics of one who has attained Rati for Radhadasya is given in the Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 11, Chapter 6, verse 46. Simply by decorating ourselves with the garments, fragrant oils, clothes, and ornaments that you have already enjoyed, and simply by eating the remnants of your meals, we, your maid servants, will indeed conquer your illusory energy. An introduction to Aparana Lila, afternoon pastime, is given in the Govinda Lilamrita. I remember Srimati Radharani, who in the afternoon returns to her home and prepares many sweets like Amrita Kali and the Karpura Kali for her beloved Sri Krishna. Então vocês sabem que Srimati Radharani é uma cozinheira sem igual.
So you know that Srimati Radharani is an amazing cook.
Então certa vez Srimati Radharani ela serviu Durvasa Muni.
So once Srimati Radharani served Durvasa Muni.
E é muito difícil servir Durvasa Muni.
And it's very difficult to serve him.
Ele é uma encarnação do Sr. Shiva.
He's an incarnation of Lord Shiva.
Então ele fica bravo muito facilmente.
So he becomes angry very easily.
Mas Srimati Radharani conseguiu servir ele de maneira impecável.
But Srimati Radharani succeeded. She could serve him in an impeccable way.
E ele ficou muito satisfeito com ela.
He was very satisfied with her.
E deu uma bênção para Srimati Radharani.
He blessed her.
Tudo que ela cozinhasse seria como néctar.
He said that everything she cooked would be like nectar.
E é claro que de maneira perfeita ela usa essa bênção para o Senhor Krishna.
And of course, in a perfect way, she uses that blessing to serve Lord Krishna.
Srimati Radharani é a deusa dos cozinheiros.
Srimati Radharani is the goddess of the cooks.
Jai Radha Gopinath. I remember Srimati Radharani, who in the afternoon returns to her home and prepares many sweets like Amrita Keri and Karpura Keri for her beloved Shri Krishna. After taking her ablution and dressing in beautiful clothes and ornaments, she is filled with ecstasy, seeing the lotus face of her beloved Shri Krishna when he returns from the forest to the cowshed. I also remember Shri Krishna, who is returning home in the afternoon to Nandagram along with his cows and cowherd boyfriends. As they arrive on the path, he feels satisfied, glancing at Srimati Radharani. Ele dá uma olhadinha de society assim para ela. Quando ele está passando.
He gives like a sidelong glance to her when he is passing by.
Isso é muito bem descrito no Brihad Bhagavatamrita.
This is very nicely described in Brihad Bhagavatamrita.
De Sanatana Goswami.
Sanatana Goswami.
After meeting with Nanda and other elder people, he is then bathed and blessed by Mother Yashoda. This is Krishna. All mind, remember this pastime in ecstasy. Thus ends the Panchama Yama Sadhana of the Sri Bhajana Rahasya. Cut the finger. This is special also. The song of being. Então, qual é o auge? Qual é a porção mais doce, mais elevada do Srimad Bhagavatam?
What is the sweetest, the most elevated portion of Srimad Bhagavatam?
É o 10º canto.
It's the 10th canto.
O 11º canto é muito elevado.
The 11th canto is very elevated.
Mas o 10º canto ele possui muitas instruções para nós sadhakas.
But the 10th canto has many instructions for us sadhakas.
Então ele tem muito de Sambandha Gyana.
It has a lot of Sambandha Gyana.
Ele tem muito de filosofia.
It has a lot of philosophy.
Isso não é nenhum problema.
This is not a problem.
Pelo contrário, é tão doce quanto.
On the contrary, it's as sweet as the 11th.
Mas a porção de Prayodhana, a meta última, ela está no 10º canto.
But the portion of Prayojana is, which is the ultimate goal, it is in the 10th canto.
E do 10º canto, qual é o capítulo mais importante?
And within the 10th canto, which one is the most important chapter?
É o capítulo 33.
It's chapter 33.
Porque ali é descrito a dança da raça.
Because there it is described the rasa dance.
Mas isso é desfrutável só para os devotos puros, para os devotos rasikas.
But that is something to be relished only by the pure rasika devotees.
E nós temos no capítulo 47, do 10º canto,
In the chapter 47 of the 10th canto,
quando Uddhava é enviado para Vrindavana, para levar uma cartinha para as gopis.
when Uddhava is sent to Vrindavan to bring a letter to the gopis.
Então as gopis confundem Uddhava com Krishna.
So the gopis take Uddhava to be Krishna.
Então Uddhava era tão devotado a Krishna, tão devotado, tão absorto em Krishna, que ele se parecia com Krishna.
Uddhava is so devoted to Krishna, he's so absorbed in Krishna that he even looked like Krishna.
Sim, ele era o ministro de Krishna.
He was Krishna's minister.
Mas ele era tão avançado que ele era conhecido como Haridas, como servo do Senhor Hari.
But he was so elevated, he was known as Haridas, the servant of Hari.
Então, quando Uddhava esteve em Vrindavana, amando de Krishna,
So when Uddhava went to Vrindavan, following Krishna's order,
Krishna queria que Uddhava presenciasse o humor dos Vaishnavas.
Krishna wanted Uddhava to witness the mood of the Vrajavasis.
Porque a devoção mais elevada por Krishna está em Vraja, está em Vrindavana.
Because the most elevated devotion to Krishna is there in Vraj.
Então, uma das gopis, a qual Shukadeva Goswami não conseguia pronunciar o nome,
So one of the gopis, the one which Shukadeva Goswami could not say the name,
senão ele desmaiava.
otherwise he would faint.
E aí o imperador Parikshit ia abandonar o corpo.
Parikshit and Maharaj was going to leave the body.
Yeah. Então, uma gopi em especial, essa que era a mais fanática,
One gopi in special, in particular, the one which was most fanatic.
quem fala isso é uma Prashakshami fala isso.
It's Hanumat Prakash Swami who says that.
Então ela sai, né, daquele grupo e ela encontra uma abelha, um abelhão preto.
So she leaves that group and he finds that huge bee.
E ela começa a ter um diálogo com aquela abelha.
And she starts to speak to the bee.
Porque ela pensava que aquela abelha era o próprio Krishna, né? Era um enviado de Krishna.
Because she thought that the bee was sent by Krishna.
Então, qual é a meta do serviço devocional? Como é que a pessoa se torna quando ela obtém Krishna Prema Bhakti?
What is the goal of devotional service? What does a person become when he or she obtains devotional service?
Yeah. Como?
How? When they obtain Prema Bhakti.
Yeah. Ela se torna completamente louca.
That person becomes mad.
Então o Sr. Chaitanya estava completamente absorto no humor de Srimati Radharani no final de seus passatempos em Jagannath Puri, quando ele estava no Gambhira.
Lord Chaitanya, when he was in his final pastimes, he was in Gambhira, in Jagannath Puri, and he was there mad with love.
Então ele entrava no mar,
He would enter the ocean.
pensando que era Yamuna.
Because he was thinking that was the Yamuna River.
Aí ele era resgatado lá em Konark.
And he was rescued in
Konark.
Konark.
Então Konark é o templo do Deus do Sol.
Konark is the temple of the sun god.
Quem já foi para Konark?
Who went to Konark here already? Who has been there? No one.
Meu pai. Em Konark é aquele templo famoso do Deus do Sol que tem aquele monte de escultura erótica.
Konark is a famous temple of the sun god and it has many erotic sculptures.
Então, na frente do templo de Gundicha, você pode pegar um ônibus por 30 rúpias.
In front of the Gundicha temple we can take a bus for 30 rupees.
E em cerca de menos de uma hora você chega em Konark.
In less than an hour you arrive at Konark.
Então, na praia de Konark, né, um pescador capturou o Sr. Chaitanya numa rede, pensando que era um peixe.
At the beach there on the shore in Konark, a fisherman captured Lord Chaitanya thinking he was a fish.
E quando o pescador tocou no corpo do Sr. Chaitanya, ele se tornou um louco também.
When the fisherman touched Lord Chaitanya's body, he also became crazy, mad with that love.
E ele começou a falar Hari, 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 sem parar.
And he started to say Hari, 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 Hari without, he couldn't stop.
E Swarupa Damodara dá um bofete na cara dele.
Svarupa Damodara slaps him on the face.
Aí ele consegue explicar, né? Ele estava absorto em êxtase por causa de ter tocado o Sr. Chaitanya.
And then the fisherman can explain that he was in ecstasy because of the touch of Lord Chaitanya.
Ou então o Sr. Chaitanya, ele aparecia num curral, né? Com as vacas lambendo ele.
Or Lord Chaitanya would also appear sometimes with the cows. He would go where the cows are, the cows would be licking him.
E o corpo dele estava totalmente retraído,
And his body was completely shrunk.
parecendo uma abóbora.
He was looking like a pumpkin.
Conseguimos uma conexão.
We could connect the pumpkin to the class.
Então, a meta de Krishna Prema, a meta da devoção é se tornar completamente louco.
So the goal of Krishna Prema, the goal is to become completely crazy.
Então, Srimati Radharani mostra essa demência, essa loucura transcendental nessa conversa com a abelha, né? Pensando que é o mensageiro de Krishna.
So Radharani shows this transcendental madness in this conversation that she has with the bee.
Então, esses versos contêm o mais elevado nível de prema possível do Srimad Bhagavatam.
So this conversation contains the most elevated levels of prema.
E esses versos, eles contêm uma métrica, uma estética, uma poesia que ridiculariza 10 milhões de vezes Shakespeare.
And these verses, they are such a poetry with such a rhythm and metric that they really surpass million times Shakespeare.
Visrija shirasi padam vedmiyaham chatukai anunaya vidushas tibhyetya dautair mukundat Sakripaiha Vrusha Patyanyalokam Vyasijat Akrita Chetta Kinu Sandhemasmi. Keep your head off my feet. I know what you are doing. You expertly learned diplomacy from Mukunda. And now you come as his messenger with flattering words. But he abandoned those who, for his sake alone, gave up their children, husbands, and all other relations. He is simply ungrateful. Why should I make up with him now? Então essa é uma parte maravilhosa, né? Quando Krishna começa a tocar a flauta no Sevakundja.
So this is a wonderful section when Krishna begins to play the flute in Sevakundja.
Então a flauta atrai a todos.
So the flute attracts everyone.
Os animais ficam paralisados.
The animals are stunned, paralyzed.
O Yamuna para.
The Yamuna stops to flow.
E as gopis, assim que ouvem a flauta de Krishna, elas saem correndo para se encontrar com Krishna.
And the gopis, as soon as they hear Krishna's flute, they go out running to meet Krishna.
Todo atrativo.
They're all attracted.
Então tem uma gopi que estava dando de mamar, ela deixa o bebê no chão e sai correndo.
There was one gopi breastfeeding her child, so he puts the child on the floor and goes running.
Tem uma gopi que estava arrumando o cabelo.
Another gopi was combing her hair.
Ela deixa o cabelo desalinhado e sai correndo para encontrar Krishna.
She just leaves her hair as it was, not arranged, messy, and she goes running to see Krishna.
Tinha uma gopi que estava fazendo a sobrancelha tipo gaivota.
There's one gopi who was doing her eyebrow.
Então ela deixa uma sobrancelha sem fazer e sai correndo para encontrar Krishna.
So she manages to just do one eyebrow, not the other, and then she goes running anyways to see Krishna.
Então as gopis abandonam tudo, lar, família, filhos, reputação, para ir se encontrar com Krishna.
So the gopis, they abandon everything, the home, the family, children, reputation, all of that they abandon just to meet Krishna.
Sarvadharma Parityajamani Sharanam Braja. Então as gopis também dão um exemplo maior possível de rendição.
So the gopis, they also give the highest example of surrender.
Mas o que acontece com as gopis quando elas chegam lá à beira do Yamuna, no Sevakundja?
But what happens to the gopis when they get there to Sevakundja, to the banks of the Yamuna?
Vocês são mulheres casadas.
These are married women.
Vocês têm que tomar conta do marido e do filho.
You are married women. You have to take care of your husband and children.
Pode voltar, pode voltar, pode voltar.
You may go back to your house.
É isso que Srimati Radharani está acusando aqui, Krishna ter feito.
This is what Srimati Radharani is accusing Krishna of having done. Here in this verse, she's accusing him.
Que outro verso? Olha, tem umas imagens bonitas de abelha também.
There are also beautiful pictures of bees.
Mrigayo iva kapindran viade lubda dharmam striyama krita virupam strijita kamvayanam balimapi balimatvavershtayad dvanka vadyas kadalam asita sakyair dustyajasta katataha. Like a hunter, he cruelly shot the king of the monkeys with arrows. Aqui no caso, Bali Maharaj. Mas a alusão é a Rama Lila aqui.
It is referring to Rama Lila here, this sentence.
Because he was conquered by a woman, Surpanaka. He disfigured another woman who came to him with lust desires. Então, quando Surpanaka, a irmã de... como é o nome do demônio? Ravana, foi, né, na floresta, encontrou os dois, Rama e Lakshmana, eles eram extremamente atraentes, né?
When Surpanaka, Ravana's sister, she went to and saw Rama and what's his name?
Atraente.
Yeah, they were very attractive, both of them.
Yeah,
Rama and Lakshmana.
Very handsome.
Então
ela ficou atraída à beleza de Ramachandra.
So she was very attracted to Ramachandra's beauty.
E ela tentou se aproximar, né? Tentou cantar Ramachandra.
And she tried to approach Lord Ram.
Então Ramachandra falou, eu fiz um voto de Ekapati.
And Lord Ramachandra said, I took a vow of Ekapati.
Só uma esposa.
Only one wife.
Fosse Krishna tem mais de 16 mil, mas ela escolheu Rama.
If it would be Krishna, Krishna has more than 16,000, but she chose Rama.
Ramachandra é muito moralista.
Rama he's very moral person.
Muito certo.
Very righteous, correct.
Ekapati levou. Então o Ramachandra falou, vá com meu irmão lá, Lakshmana, que ele é solteiro.
So Ramachandra said, go to my brother Lakshmana, he's single.
Mas Lakshmana também, no way.
Lakshmana also said, no way.
Então ela ficou muito brava.
So she was very mad.
E o que fizeram com ela?
And what did they do to her?
Cortaram a ponta do nariz dela.
So they cut her nose.
Então é isso que o Srimati Radharani está acusando aqui também.
So here Srimati Radharani is accusing that.
Because he was conquered by a woman, he disfigured another woman who came to him with lust desires. And even after consuming the gifts of Bali Maharaj, he bound him up with ropes as if it were a crown. So let us give up our friendship with this dark complexioned boy, even if we can't give up talking about him. E esse é o último verso, esse é o verso que Srimati Radharani mostra qual é o sadhaka daquele que quer viver em Vrindavana.
This is the last verses where Srimati Radharani reveals what's the sadhana of the one who wants to live in Vrindavan.
Yajanucharita lilakarna piyusha viprut sakridadana viduta dandvadharma vinashta sapadviha kutumbam dinamutsijadina bhava iha vihanga bhikshucharyam charanti. To hear about the pastimes that Krishna regularly performs in nectar for the ears, for those who relish just a single drop of that nectar, even once their dedication to material reality is ruined. This is very interesting. Many such persons have suddenly given up their wretched homes and families, and themselves become wretched. Travel here to Vrindavan to wander about like birds, begging for their living. Esse é o resultado por se ouvir Krishna Lila.
That is the result if we hear Krishna Lila.
Você vai abandonar tudo, perder tudo.
You will abandon everything, lose everything.
Não vai ser como um protestante que fica cada vez mais rico.
You're not gonna be like a Protestant who becomes more and more wealthy,
como os países protestantes que ficaram mais ricos cada vez.
like the Protestant countries which are becoming more rich.
Então você vai perder tudo e vai virar um mendigo em Vrindavan.
So you lose everything and you become a beggar in Vrindavan,
Igual Vrindavan Chandra.
like Vrindavan Chandra.
There is a lot of talk about the love of Radha, but in practice, what is this love like? I recommend you see a little on the screen. Yes, the everybody protest. There is a lot of talk about the love of Radha, but in practice, what is this love? I want to know. Then, eu sempre achei meio parecido o everybody com a Shara Ganashila, não sei porquê. Traduz.
He says, I always thought that this ugly bird was similar to the Shivas.
Não. Radha and your unsurpassed love. The omniscient Supreme Person of Godhead, Lord Krishna, knows all. However, they cannot fathom the deepest feelings of Srimati Radharani. His unrequited love comes to experience them in the form of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Once absorbed in ridiculous feeling and mood, Chaitanya simulates a conversation between her friends in which she confesses that Krishna became indifferent toward her. Simply to prove her love, and her friends replied that it was better not to pay attention. Chaitanya Chandra and Jalila, 10:42. At that moment, overcome by various attached emotions, he or she recites the following sequence of verses. Então, o Chaitanya Charitamrita, como obra literária inigualável, fantástica, muito superior a tudo que a gente tem nesse mundo, ele termina com Chaitanya Mahaprabhu em completo êxtase.
The Chaitanya Charitamrita, this wonderful, greatest book that we have, it ends with Lord Chaitanya in complete ecstasy.
E o tema, né, do Chaitanya Charitamrita, os últimos capítulos são maravilhosos, mas o Chaitanya Charitamrita termina com Shikshastra.
The Chaitanya Charitamrita ends with Shikshastakam.
Especialmente com Radharani completamente em êxtase.
Especially with Radharani in complete ecstasy.
Sobre a pele de Chaitanya Mahaprabhu.
So under the skin, of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu.
Yes. Okay. Lord Krishna has become indifferent to me just to test my love, and my friends say, better to disregard him. I do not mind my personal distress. I only wish for the happiness of Krishna, for his happiness is the goal of my life. However, if he feels great happiness in giving me distress, that distress is the best of my happiness. Coloquem atenção nisso, como Srimati Radharani não tem uma identificação egocêntrica e o objetivo dela é totalmente Krishna, né? A alma condicionada tem muita identificação, né? Muito ego. A Srimati Radharani é zero ego e ela está totalmente absorta em Krishna. Isso é a essência do amor. Quando a gente se esquece da gente e a gente vive totalmente pelo outro.
So please pay attention to this, how Srimati Radharani is utterly selfless and she's living just for Krishna. And this is the essence of love, when we live completely for someone else and we forget ourselves.
Tá em êxtase também? Ok, verso 53. If Krishna, attracted by the beauty of some other women, wants to enjoy with her but is unhappy because he cannot get her, I fell down at her feet, catch her hand, and bring her to Krishna to engage her for his happiness. Qual mulher vocês conhecem que, por prazer do marido, por prazer do amado, trai a outra mulher para dentro de casa?
Which woman do you know that just for the pleasure of her husband, she will bring another woman within the house?
Mas isso está numa plataforma totalmente transcendental.
But this here is in a completely transcendental platform.
Yes. Krishna is my life and soul. Krishna is the treasure of my life. Indeed, Krishna is the very life of my life. I, therefore, keep him always in my heart and try to please him by rendering service. That is my constant meditation. My happiness is in the service of Krishna, and Krishna's happiness is in union with me. For this reason, I give my body in charity to the Lord's feet of Krishna, who accepts me and his beloved and calls me his most beloved. It is then that I consider myself his maid servant. Chaitanya Charitamrita, Antarila, chapter 20, verse 59. Okay, God. Now we are finished. So Prabhupada. If you want to have a comment or question, the Gauriya will answer.
Why do we not fast on Radhastami? I was wondering today. We are fasting now for appearance days, but not Radhastami. Right?
Why? Por que a gente não jejua no Radhastami?
Jejum também é dia.
We fast till noon.
But in my application it doesn't say.
I ever heard that we do the fasting at noon. But Srimati Radharani is so mercy that don't need to make fasting to her. Srimati Radharani is so merciful that he gives mercy to a jackal. Ok? Bom, já que a audiência não vai poder ir embora, se levantar e ir embora, eu vou continuar.
Since you cannot get up, stand up and leave, I will continue.
Okay. Infelizmente vocês não podem ir embora, se levantar e ir embora, né?
You cannot leave. You're carrying the vegetables.
Yeah. Eu me lembro uma vez.
I remember once.
Desculpa, mas o Sex Pistols foi tocar em uma prisão.
This musical group called Sex Pistols, they went to perform in a prison.
Então eles falavam, né, para provocar. Se vocês não estão gostando, vão embora.
They were saying, just to provoke. Oh, if you don't like, you can go away, you can leave.
Então, já que vocês não podem ir embora também, né, numa situação, então eu vou contar o passatempo de Srimati Radharani e como ela aparece nesse mundo.
So since you are also in the same situation, you cannot leave. So I'll tell you a pastime of Srimati Radharani, how she appears in this world.
Então, Srimati Radharani, assim como Janaki Devi, ela aparece da terra.
So Srimati Radharani, just like Janaki Devi, she appears from the earth.
Então, Janaki Maharaj, quando estava arando a terra, surge Janaki Devi.
Janaki Maharaj, when he was plowing the field, he finds Janaki Devi.
Srimati Radharani, ela é encontrada por Maharaj Vrishabhanu na terra, mas num lótus dourado.
Srimati Radharani is found by Maharaj Vrishabhanu in a golden lotus.
Então, quando o pai encontra, ele fica muito satisfeito, porque ela é uma menina tão bonita, tão bonita, tão bonita.
So when he finds her, he's very satisfied because she's such a beautiful girl.
E assim como o lótus, ela tinha a pele dourada.
And just like the lotus, she also had a golden complexion.
Ela tinha um cabelo longo que parecia uma serpente.
She had a long hair that looked like a serpent.
Então, tem um passatempo que eu estou me confundindo entre os dois, mas é mais ou menos isso. Sanatana Goswami está escrevendo E ele descreve um poema que Srimati Radharani tinha tranças, né, o cabelo como se fosse uma serpente.
Once Sanatana Goswami was writing, and he's writing some poem where he describes that Srimati Radharani had long hair, just like a serpent.
Então, o Rupa Goswami castiga ele. Como que você pode descrever que o cabelo de Srimati Radharani é igual uma serpente?
So Rupa Goswami chastised him. How can you describe Srimati Radharani's hair as being just like a serpent?
Então, o Rupa Goswami à tarde foi tomar banho no Kunja, né? Foi se banhar.
So in the afternoon, Rupa Goswami went to the Kunj to bathe.
E ele viu um grupo de meninas.
And he saw a group of girls.
E uma delas, a mais bonita, a mais atraente, ela tinha cabelo e parecia realmente uma serpente, né? A trança dela.
And one of the girls, the most beautiful of them, she had also long hair and it looked just like a serpent, her braid.
Então ele realizou que aquela era Srimati Radharani.
So, and then he realized that one was Srimati Radharani.
Então, aquela menina tinha um defeito.
That girl had one defect.
Apesar de ser tão bonita, ela tinha os olhos fechados.
Despite being so beautiful, her eyes were closed.
Ela não abria os olhos.
She did not open her eyes.
Será que ela era cega?
Was she blind?
De qualquer maneira, né, o Vrishabhanu ficou tão encantado que leva para casa, né, para mostrar para Kirtida.
Anyways, Vrishabhanu was so enchanted that he took her home to show to Kirtida.
E começa a cuidar dela como uma filha, né?
And they began to take care of her just as their daughter.
Então nessa altura, né, Krishna e Balarama já tinham feito a sua aparição.
So at that point, Krishna and Balaram were already present. They had already appeared.
E eles estavam em Nandagram.
And they were in Nandagram.
Então todo mundo sabe que Nandagram até Varshana dá alguns quilômetros.
Everyone knows that from Nandagram to Varshana it's a few kilometers.
Yeah. Então, sabendo que Vrishabhanu tinha tido um filho, né, Nanda Maharaj e Yashoda Mani resolvem visitar Vrishabhanu e Kirtida para conhecer o novo filho, né?
So knowing that Vrishabhanu and Kirtida had a child, so Yashoda and Nanda Maharaj and Yashoda, they want to go visit.
Então, eles levam Krishna junto, né?
And they take Krishna with them.
Krishna tem aproximadamente pouquinho mais de um ano de idade, né?
Krishna was a little bit over 1 year old.
Então eles chegam, né, em Varshana, né, se cumprimentam, se saúdam, trocam presentes, perguntam como estão os familiares, toda a prática, toda a etiqueta védica Vaishnava.
So they arrived there in Varshana, so they ask how they're doing, how is everything. They greet each other just according to the etiquette.
Então, enquanto Kirtida e Vrishabhanu e Yashoda e Nanda Maharaj estavam nessa formalidade, né, Krishna foi engatinhando até perto do berço.
So while they were all doing that formality, talking, so Krishna went crawling to the cradle where Radharani was.
Então, estava todo mundo comentando, né? A menina é muito bonita, mas não abre os olhos, né? Será que ela é cega?
And everyone was commenting, yeah, the girl is so beautiful, but she doesn't open her eyes. Is she blind?
Então, Krishna vai, chega perto do bercinho, e Krishna começa a escalar o bercinho.
So Krishna comes close to the cradle and he starts to climb up on the cradle.
Então, Krishna vai escalando o berço, vai escalando, até que ele consegue subir, né, e olhar para dentro do berço.
So Krishna climbs up to the point where he can reach the top and he can look inside the cradle.
Assim que Krishna coloca a cabeça dentro do berço, Srimati Radharani abre os olhos.
As soon as Krishna's head is there, appears on top of the cradle, then Radharani opens her eyes.
Sim, isso é muito significativo.
This is very significant.
Porque Srimati Radharani, que é a maior de todos os devotos,
Because Srimati Radharani, who is the greatest of all devotees,
ela só tem os olhos para Krishna.
she has eyes only for Krishna.
os seus sentidos são utilizados única e exclusivamente para Krishna.
Her senses are used only exclusively for Krishna.
Os seus sentidos são totalmente atraídos por Krishna.
Her senses are completely attracted by Krishna.
Como é explicado, né? Sarvapad Vinmutantat Partena Nimalan Rishikena Rishikesha Bhakti Sauchate. Rishikesha Rishikena. Os sentidos, eles são feitos para servir a Krishna.
The senses are made to serve Krishna.
Assim como o rio flui, né, em direção ao oceano, os sentidos da diva, da alma espiritual, eles foram feitos para ir em direção a Krishna.
Just like a river flows towards the ocean, in the same way the jiva's senses were made to go towards Krishna, to be used for Krishna.
Bhakti Ujjate, então essa é a essência de Bhakti Yoga,
So that is the essence of Bhakti Yoga,
que personifica Srimati Radharani, pelo qual, né, Srimati Radharani ensina a todos nós.
The personification of which is Srimati Radharani, Shri Bhagavad.
Tá bom, então já está quase todo mundo terminando de picar os vegetais.
So now everyone is almost finishing the cutting.
Então eu vou terminar por aqui.
I will end here.
Todos tenham um excelente Radhastami.
I wish you all an excellent Radhastami.
Hoje é um dia que é muito fácil receber misericórdia.
Today is a day today is very easy to get mercy.
É um dia que é muito fácil experimentar felicidade pura.
Today is very easy to experience pure bliss.
Então aproveitem esse dia tão especial.
So take advantage of this special day.
E agradecemos Srila Prabhupada, né, quem trouxe Srimati Radharani para o Ocidente.
And we thank Srila Prabhupada because he's the one who brought Srimati Radharani to the West.
Srila Prabhupada ki
Jai.
jai. Shri Janmashtami Mahotsava ki jai.
Jai.
Go Premanande.
Maha Krishna Prabhu ki jai.
Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Can I take off?
We have to ask Simon.
Sure. Yeah, just leave. Put the violin.
The problem is in the projector, né?
Just.
It's cold.
This scoring getting a cut through.
If you don't do it straight away.
Give them a quite right yet.
If they're softer, yeah.
Game. So cute.
Yeah. Extra in Dasa.
Dem alles fest.
Should I put him in the kitchen?
Yes. On the floor is anything left. Yeah.
Und die Rotkohl,
Den muss man aufhierten, den kannst du lassen. Den kann man in der Küche machen. Aber der ist noch nicht.
ja, ja, die.
Ja.
Das fertig bringen.
Was?
Johannes mit seinem schönen weißen Bart. Da unten ist doch sind es Bretter oder Messer? Da unten.
Das ist ein Messer.
Kannst du einen nassen Waschlappen mitgeben?
Nassen, da liegen nicht.
Nein, nicht.
Dann wollen wir da unsere Schlangen lassen.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama,
I'm alive.
You're alive. How many hours did you sleep?
I don't know.
Ja.
Weißt du, ob es irgendeine Möglichkeit gibt, so ein Gopinath sein Gesicht besser auszulegen? Weißt du, irgendwie so unten oder so? Gibt's
Ja, früher haben wir immer eine Lampe unten gemacht in der Mitte.
Gell?
Ja.
Was ist denn das für eine Lampe?
Ich weiß es nicht.
Ist denn das die von
Das ist einfach so.
der Schiene, wo man einfach
Ich weiß es nicht.
Oh, jetzt ist es schon weg.
Ich bin schon da.
Ja, ich bin mit Auto hinaus Flick und so.
Ja, ist egal. Nicht halt wieder an.
Yes. Und
der
die
ist
da,
nicht weg.
die kann ich da rein tun.
Soll ich kurz weg?
Nein. Krishna, should we put the vinyasas on there
Yes.
quickly? Ja, schön. Stress.
Ich sehe nur ganz, was das Backdrop zu dem Outfit konzipiert haben.
Aha, das meinst du. Ja. Also ich muss sagen, ich fand Stress nicht so. Also alles zusammen. Menschen schön.
Ja, es ist das Backdrop hat aber eigentlich nichts mit dem Outfit zu tun.
Ja. Ja, ich habe dann einer mal gesagt und dann hat sie mal 3-minütige Sprachnachricht geschrieben und gerade wieder gelöscht. Ich glaube, es ist gut. Ja.
Ja, weißt du,
Und dann hat sie gesagt, wir müssen noch reden, aber mit Prinzip.
ja, es ist